Chris Stone. I'm a full stack software developer, and I write code, and I also write tests. Unit, integration, end-to-end, you name it. And I love it. I really enjoy writing tests. There's several reasons. The main one is I can get really scared. Anxious, nervous, worried. Maybe I need to maintain something that I don't understand how it works. Or I think about all the times I was so sure I knew that something was going to be good, and then I took down the app. There's manual things I need to remember to check, and I'm clumsy, I can forget. And as many of us know, fear is the mind killer. I can't let these little deaths take control of me. So I need to face that fear and actually do something about it, but how? Where do I start? How do I make up a plan to do something? Here's the plan. Write tests until fear is transformed into boredom. Why and when do I write tests? Because there is something that the thought of it failing scares me. And when I no longer have anything that would scare me if I failed, I can stop. So a good test is one that could conceivably fail at some point. We don't want to put tests into CI if they ever, or we do want to put tests in our CI, so if they go wrong, we know immediately, but a test that always passes because it doesn't test anything meaningful is just clutter. If tests fail, we need to take it seriously. Don't allow your team to not take it seriously. Allowing a flaky test to continue to run is going to reduce the team's confidence. So make sure to fix flakiness as it comes up or skip it until you can. On our team, we also do TDD. It gives us all the other benefits of testing, but also helps us prevent complicating our code more than it needs to. We write just enough code to make the test pass. Also, there's a lot of benefits to documenting code, like we've heard earlier today, but why put that documentation in a place that's far removed from our code, less likely to be encountered? How about documentation that if it ever is not true any longer, it actually alerts us? And what makes good documentation? It should be readable. I should be able to quickly scan over it and know what the intention behind it is. It should be relevant. If I'm editing something, there's a paragraph that's not necessary, or tests that I don't need anymore, I delete them. And also applicable tests that actually help maintainers. There's dozens of kinds of tests. I usually think of them in three categories. There's the unit tests, the ones that are testing something isolated and can take milliseconds. Integration maybe goes over a database, could take a few seconds, and end-to-end. Ones that will take longer but actually test the full user journey could take tens of seconds. How often you write one type over another is debated. We have a pyramid, we have a trophy. Don't worry about the actual ratio. I would advise consider your case for what you want to test and go for the lowest level that actually gives you value. So if we have a test that is just doing something in memory, it's just altering something slightly, a unit test should suffice. But if I have one that's based on what it's trying to do, it'll change our SQL, and we might query something from the database differently. I could mock the database, but now I don't know if my SQL is actually correct, so I would probably go an integration one there. If you ever feel like you have to test both your backend that's producing the results for an API and the front end that consumes it, you might want to consider what format does the front end actually need, do all that in the backend so that you can really test that through and the front end just consumes it. For end-to-end tests, we use Playwright on our team. There is a learning curve, but we were able to use CodeGen to get us started, then refactor to a page object model. That gets us that readability we talked about, and then we were able to further address some of the speed concerns by using storage state. So with any kind of test framework, there's a learning curve, but over time, you find the optimizations and make them better work for you. So for our front end, we added vtest and React testing library to our application for the first time. When we saw it, it didn't have these in there. We try to add to that suite over time as we need to maintain things. And we try to focus on the behavior, not the implementation details. But sometimes the implementation details are what you have to test. So be pragmatic. Think about what you're actually trying to test and see, is it necessary to get that detail, or is there something that we can mock? And then we are at DevOpsDays, so I'll close off by showing our infrastructure as code. We have our unit integration running on every pull request, and our end-to-end on every deployment. So thanks, everyone.
Let's hear it for Chris.